What's good, everybody? I hope you're having yourselves a lovely day. It's been a long time since I've recorded a long form video. I'm sorry about the sparse upload. Honestly, bro, shorts have been giving me a fuck ton of views, and I've honestly been trying to come up with a series for like long form content because story times, they're okay, but I feel like it's just not the series that I'm trying to like grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's something else that I'm looking for that I'll find soon that, you know what I'm saying? I apologize about not uploading enough. I want to get back into it, and I'm trying to. I know that I said I don't want to do story times all the time, but today is a story time. Buckle in. I hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like if you do. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell. All that YouTuber stuff. God, I haven't said my intro in a minute. This story time is gonna be about when I lived with the plug. This happened probably like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. This story happened because of a lot of different reasons, bro. Like I've been through some fucking shit, and I'm about to get like either like views or watch time, fucking money, something, ad revenue off of the bullshit that I fucking went through because of other people. That's the mentality. I have pretty much always had problems with my family in the sense of like, they're all a bunch of like crazy people, addictions of whatever. I won't get too deep into that, but they're literally fucking insane to the point where they will actually kick out their kid for smoking. It's not like the kid isn't working, not like the kid isn't doing anything. I was just living with them, and I simultaneously smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? This one day I had a friend come over. We decided we were gonna like smoke in my room, and we basically had like completely rigged up the entire room. I'm talking wet towel underneath the fucking door. I'm talking the vent was closed. My door was like locked. So we had all the windows open, and we had a diffuser and my fan going at max. We took every single precaution we possibly could, bro. We get up to my room, we're just fucking smoking. I get a text from my mom saying to leave, and I don't know what the fuck she really like talking about. I just think like it's getting late because like it's like 9 at night at this point. Okay, I guess I gotta take him home. We quick like pack everything up, we head out to the car, and for some reason on the way out to the car, my parents didn't talk to me. Like, they were in the living room, but they didn't even like acknowledge my existence. Like, we literally just walked downstairs and just walked out the door. Weird as shit. A little bit of time goes by of us driving, and I get another text from my mom saying I have to find somewhere else to live. And immediately, like, I'm thrown into like, what the fuck? Why? Like, I at this point, my parents had been like on and off with how they feel about weed. And the majority actually has been okay. I know that hearing this story is gonna make it sound like they're not okay with it at all, but the majority of the time that I have been smoking, granted, the majority of the time, like, I am either like working or at school or doing something productive, so they kind of just brush it off. I guess what I was doing at the time of this event wasn't enough for them because they literally like said I had to find a new place to live. So I text them and I'm like, where do you think I'm gonna go? I don't have any friends that would let me like stay there. Literally all of my friends' parents are like super bitchy. Like, I don't know what the situation was. There was this one friend that I had for, I wanna say like literally 2.5 whole years that we hung out almost every day. Like, I'm talking minimum 4 times a week. I got kicked out, and I was like, okay, I don't want to go to like a homeless shelter. I don't want to go with anyone that I don't really know. So I'm gonna ask my homie, and his parents said no, even though they have plenty of room. I don't know what the fuck the deal with that was. Like, that's something that I try my hardest not to think about, is all the people that had the opportunity to step in and like correct things that I literally like was out of, like, I didn't have any power to change a lot of the shit that was going on. So like, when I think about like all these people that had the power and chose not to, knowing who I am, it made me like rethink who I'm like friends with. It made me rethink like who I even like talk to on a daily basis, down to the minute levels of like even the little things that you don't realize plant seeds in your fucking head. Of your friends will literally like change the way that you view yourself, and so will their parents, and so will like a lot of fucking like shit that you go through. This situation with this one specific person that I'm talking about right now was just like so crazy, because like I didn't know how to fucking respond, because like had been hanging out with this fool every day. His parents knew me more than my own parents did. Bro, like, do you understand where I'm coming from with that? Like, this is like, as soon as I moved to Texas and got into college, this was the first person that I hung out with, and immediately he introduced me to the quote unquote, basically the acquaintance group. He didn't even fuck with them. I didn't fuck with them. We had that in common, and we also had like our DOCs in common, basically. Everything was pretty much the same, so we just kind of like clicked. We like hung out every day. We like liked the same video games. We had like pretty much all the same interests. It's just he, for some, like, partly, like, after going through this relationship with this person, were you actually like that? Or were you like that because I was? And you wanted me to be friends with you. This person is a part of the group that, like, I'm about to talk about, with living with the plug, all this type of shit. I don't know what he's done with the police and all that shit. He's had his own cases and all that shit, and he's had to go on like a bunch of programs and shit, but I don't put anything away now just because, like, of the one day that I saw my actual homie, like, the dude that I took, like, the dude that I stayed in, the room, when I lived with my plug, the room that I stayed in was, like, rented by this kid that they were all friends with. Like, they were all high school homies. I saw him one day when I came back to Texas in a full cop uniform, talking in a red Hyundai with another, like, not another cop, but another person who's in the group. And they're like, I could clearly see, like, the cop was like writing shit down. I was like, I'm literally watching an informant give information live. I was walking into Subway, and the Subway is right, like, the Subway that I went to was right next to the Pizza Hut where all of my ex-homies used to work. The Subway was right there, and they all worked there, and this guy was, like, pulled up there to go and talk to him while they were on shift. And the thing is I was going to get Subway at the same time, so I was, like, walking in, and I look over to my right, and I see this fool in the fucking car with, like, a full uniform, and I didn't make eye contact with him, and he wasn't, like, looking in my direction, because he was parked like this, and I was coming up from, like, the side behind him to, like, the door. So when I got to, like, this part right here, I looked back just for, like, a split second, and I saw my old homie that I literally, like, lived in the room across from, and then the homie that I lived in his room, talking to each other. The dude in the fucking cop uniform. Moving on, because I got side tangented like a motherfucker. Back to the car, back to the night that I was trying to, like, figure out where the fuck I was gonna go. I'm, like, trying to figure out where the fuck I'm gonna go because I don't have anyone now. Because, like, I've already expended my only option. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, dude. I'm gonna pull some fucking Euphoria shit. And I am gonna go live with my fucking plug. I hit up the dude who I was talking about, it was the informant, not the actual one who was, like, in the uniform. I hit him up and I was like, okay, bro, listen, my parents are tripping. They normally aren't tripping, but for some reason right now they are, and I don't have nowhere to fucking go right now. And I'm not trying to sleep on no fucking, like, street or, like, in my backseat, bro. Real shit. He was like, I feel that, like, heavily. Come through. He was, like, pretty chill about it. Like, that's the one thing that, like, I talk about it like this, in this, like, depressed way, just because, like, bro, we played COD together a lot. Like, we played hella video games, and, like, we made music together, all types of crazy shit. But at the same time, like, time tells everything, bro. They're a bunch of crazy motherfuckers, like, with a bunch of other, like women specifically. But he tells me come through, and I'm like, bet. I pull through. At first, there's, like, nowhere really for me to, like, sleep. Like, the room that the other dude had been in was completely ransacked. And the reason it was ransacked is because these motherfuckers had gotten raided 3 days prior. Keep in mind, I re-up on ounces. I re-up every, like, week, bro. If it happened 3 days ago, this was, like, 2 or, like, the day before, like, the day after I re-upped type shit. Like, this could have, like, I could have been there when it happened. I get over there and the entire house is ransacked because they just got fucking raided and, like, charged with a bunch of shit 3 days prior. They were out on bail. They were doing a bunch of bail drugs. And I don't know if you know what bail drugs are. If you get caught doing some, like, fucked up shit, like, let's say if you get caught just smoking a blunt for whatever reason, you're not gonna get placed on probation immediately. Like, that's not gonna happen. Most of the time, you're gonna have a court date, and then you're gonna have you're gonna get bailed out. You're gonna, like, your judge is going to give you your bail amount, and then you're going to bail out and you'll get your court date then. That didn't happen for them. They got caught doing a bunch of crazy shit. And I think one of them, I'm not sure, this could be a complete fucking lie, but I'm pretty sure one of them actually low-key got a RICO charge. It was the kid that I took over his room. I remember the house was ransacked, so obviously I had to like clean up the room entirely, shampoo the carpets, vacuum, do the whole fucking nine, revamp the entire room, put all of my setup, all my bed, all my clothes, everything in there. As we're like putting everything in there, because I have to go back and forth from my mom's house. I remember my mom and dad came over. I hadn't noticed this prior. Like literally I had been at the point where I was just so tired that I just straight fucking knocked out as soon as I got there. But the next day I went over to my mom's house to go and get the shit, and I remember they came over with me. There was baby bottles for lean in the bathroom, razor blades for coke on my fucking nightstand. All of them were just like, what the fuck happened? And I was like, I don't even know. I just came here and crashed last night. That's all I promise you, that's all I did. Because I knew, like, as soon as I saw, like, because, like, my parents don't listen to, like, Future. And, like, my parents don't listen to rappers, and they don't, like, know what lean paraphernalia looks like. And I knew that that baby bottle was, like, you're fucked. Like, after that whole debacle, and after I get everything set up, I hadn't even talked with these fools about, like, moving in like that. All that I had talked with them about was like staying there for like a week or so that like everything can like die down. I like brought like my fucking like 2 mattresses over. I didn't bring like my whole bed frame or anything like that. I literally just brought like my 2 mattresses, like mattress set, my PC setup and everything, and like my PS4, all my clothes, and that was it. Like I pretty much like I didn't bring a whole lot. Obviously like I brought like my toilet paper or like all that shit, but like or fucking toilet paper, toothpaste, whatever the fuck. A couple days in, they're like, yo, so that guy, or that guy's room that you're staying in, he's not coming back. Like the way that he kind of worded it was like, oh, he got like time. Like what was going on in this fucking room that I'm staying in, bro? I didn't like ask too many questions just because like obviously like they're feds now. If I had seemed like a fed then, I feel like that wouldn't have been good at all. But like, honestly, seeming like both probably wouldn't be good. I probably should have I don't know what I should have done, bro. Should I have just slept in the back of my fucking car? Real shit. Like, I've done that for 6 months. So like, what the I don't know, bro. I want to say like 2 weeks in, they start like doing a bunch more of the like probation drugs, because like they were like drug testing. But the thing is, a lot of drugs get out of your system within like 2 or 3 days. So like you can literally like, if you know for a fact you're not gonna get drug tested, you can pretty much do like, you can do like Zans, or you can do like Coke, or you can do fucking like whatever, as long as you know you're not gonna get drug tested for the couple days, and you can like, as long as you're not like fiending or like an addict or anything, you should be fine. They were doing like a bunch of fucking Zans, and like 2 weeks in, they had one night where they got so fucked up that like this one dude fell over and literally like apparently got like a broken rib from falling, but he didn't find out until like 2 days afterwards, because the Xanax was so strong. He fell over, got back up, and acted like nothing happened, and he was just chilling for like 2 days. And then he like kind of got like a pain one time, and it like became like a little harder to breathe, and he was like, okay, I should probably go get this checked. Broken rib. I wasn't doing any of these drugs. The only thing that I was doing was smoking. And even then, I wasn't smoking a lot, because like I was broke as fuck. If I had money, I wouldn't have been staying with these fools, like, at all. Like, I would have just gotten my own place. I was broke as fuck. So, like, I had nowhere to go. The only thing that I was doing was, like, if they had extra weed, or if I just made, like, a little bit extra tip money from, like, Pizza Hut or whatever the fuck, I would go and re-up, or like get like a gram or two, like literally a gram or two. They're doing a bunch of like fucked up drugs, and like I am just kind of like in my room playing video games, and there was this one kid that like didn't fuck with anything going on. I don't know if you watch my channel, because like I'm not even sure if I unadded you on Snapchat or anything like that. I just haven't talked to you in fucking forever. I for sure still have you. Wait, do I still have you on Instagram? If you're watching this, bro, hit me up. I don't know if you know anything about the group you're in. You should be out of it unless you agree with them and like you're just good at hiding it. But if you're not and you don't agree with it and like you're just tripping about what they're going through because they're a bunch of feds, come to the door. dark side. No, I'm just kidding. The next night after that comes, after he gets checked up, they do more Xans, and this time it gets to the point where they start driving. And let me tell you something. Xanax is arguably worse than alcohol for driving. It disorients you in the same way, except you don't ever realize you're that fucked up. Like, or well, you can, it's just most of the time you're not going to, just because Xanax is one of those things that, like, it strictly just slows you down. It doesn't really have a euphoria. So it's like just the fucking like slowed downness and not giving a fuckness. And when you drive and you have that, that's just extremely fucking dangerous, just because like you can crash like instantaneously. And that's happened to multiple people that I've hung out with here. They hop in the car and I'm just chilling in my room, literally playing Cold War. This is at the time the Cold War was out. I just was like sitting there playing, and I hear them come through the door and they're fucking screaming. Like, they're like yelling at each other about like how fucking stupid they are. The other friend that wasn't doing Xans, because like there was one other kid. I don't know. I know for a fact he fucking hates me now, just because like I didn't pay $300 fucking for like 2.5 weeks that I fucking stayed at this place. They said, okay, well, help us pack up the entire house and you're good on rent. And like, I was under the impression, keep in mind, I had no money going into this at all, zero. And I told them that. And I was like, yo, real shit, I'm not gonna be able to pay rent right now. Like, just give me like some time to get on my feet and I think we should be Gucci. And they were like, yeah, bro, for sure, don't even worry about it. 2.5 weeks later, Xanax down the hatch later, evicted later, they come in and they're yelling, and this other kid comes out and he's like, what the fuck is going on? And they're both like, come and look at the car. I already like, once they say come and look at the car and I know they've been barred out driving, I bolt up. I got the fuck up and I was like, dude, what happened? I go out there, the entire tire is missing. The entire like axle is completely like charred to the point it looks like round. Like, I've never seen, you know when like you take a tire off and it's like an actual like circle that goes around like this, like on the end of the axle? I don't know what that part's called. I'm not like that much of a car guy. It was rounded. I'd never seen this before. You know how it's supposed to be like, it's supposed to have like a shape that goes kind of like this to like keep the tire on track? That shit was ground. I'm not kidding you. It was like flattened and like borderline rounded. Like, I didn't know how this shit was even possible. I was like, how long were you guys driving without a tire? Nothing of this made sense. I was like, how long had you guys been driving without the fucking tire? And they say since the freeway. This bitch popped off on the on-ramp. So these motherfuckers literally were driving through the town, got onto the freeway, and on the on-ramp onto the freeway, their fucking tire literally like shakes and just poof, pops out. The front right one, which like, I don't even know how the fuck these motherfuckers kept their orientation, kept their car going, kept it from scraping, because this car, it wasn't a fucking like truck. It wasn't anything like that, bro. This shit was just a regular like Toyota Corolla. They got on the freeway, drove through the freeway, got off, made it all the way home without getting caught. These motherfuckers were on bail. Fucking, like, how, bro? I can't even, like, bro, I get invited to a party. On the way over there, it can be 10:30 p.m. Keep in mind, these motherfuckers were up at, like, 1 past midnight. I can go out at 10 p.m., and I'd get caught on the way over there. I'd get pulled over like that. But these motherfuckers, part of me thinks they were cops to begin with, but at the same time, like, if they had an entire, like, the whole, like, the only reason I think that is because that would mean that if they had gotten pulled over, the cop would have had to talk to them, let them go, and just let them do their own thing, even though they're actively barred out. And I've seen hella cops pull over, like, congressmen. I've seen hella cops pull over other cops and, like, put them in jail because they're drunk. Like, that's not something they don't do. This made, like, no sense to me. So I'm like, okay, whatever, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck. And, like, I just go back to bed. We all kind of just like go back to bed and wait for the next morning to fucking figure out what we're gonna do, even though like all the neighbors can fucking see the car. Like all the neighbors can see it. So we're just like sitting there like the next morning trying to figure out what the fuck we're gonna do. And we get this call from our fucking landlord. And apparently the neighbor had said something about our fucking tire and he came and questioned it. And immediately as soon as that happened, all bets were off. I don't even know what happened, but we got evicted. I wasn't on the lease or anything like that. I didn't have any like legal bindings or anything. I just know that like that was too much for him, and it got all of us kicked out. Because like there was a family that was supposed to move in like 6 months later, and I was supposed to live with them until that lease was up, just to like prove to my parents that I can live on my own, because like they were tripping about weed. I was like, whatever, I'm gonna just do this. But we got evicted and we had to move out like 3 days later. Like literally like 3 days went by and all of us were gone. I don't even know what the fuck happened. I wish I could tell you what the fuck happened, because I legitimately don't know. It was insane, like that time of being there, just because like it was trying to like fend for yourself, especially, or well, like living with guys is fucking terrible, bro. Let me like put y'all on a game, bro. Live with women. Like, if you're not a weirdo, not trying to do no bullshit or no fucking weird sexual shit or nothing like that, live with women if you love yourself, bro. Straight up, like the dishes occasionally, like, okay, I had to do the dishes every single time for these fools. Every single time. It was never not me. Like, straight up, and it would always be like filled to the brim with dirty ass dishes. Like, not just like, oh yeah, like I'll fucking like, I'll scrub off my plate and then put it in the side of the sink. They would just leave all the sauce, all the fucking excess food, everything on the plates. And I would like, and like, I'm not really complaining about all that. I'm just saying like, yo, live with females. And I'm not saying to make the females do the dishes. I'm saying the females are the ones who are going to be the considerate ones washing off the dishes before putting it in there. You can still do dishes, bro. That was my story time of living with the plug. I moved back in with my parents after that for a little bit, and a bunch of other shit happened. I'm sure I'll make story times on after, but that was the story time of me living with the plug. It's a longer video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm trying to make them a little longer and make them a little more inclusive, a little more like you can see what's going on in your head. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell, all that YouTuber bullshit, and I will catch y'all later, bro. Peace out.